system, and they're throwing parties for him the day after he supposedly rapes them, and they're sending text out on Twitter about how wonderful it all is, and they're buying him bus tickets. But then they're saying, well, he argued about the condom, and so that's the, quote, liberal fascism, is that if you disagree with global warming, they want to arrest you in Europe. If you have unprotected sex, it's rape. I mean, that's what the feminists teach. They teach that sex is rape when a man's involved, because men are the devil. Yes,
absolutely. But I think you're absolutely right on the bigger picture here, Alex. It is very. There is no question that the system, the various governments, the various administrators in Europe and in America would dearly love to close down the internet, or rather limit its freedoms. You know, for example, ClimateGate. ClimateGate would never have happened if it hadn't been for the internet. And you look at the difference in the way that ClimateGate was reported in the MSM, i.e. not at all, and the way it was reported on the internet, i.e. an awful lot.
But we broke their blockade. It took 3 weeks, but their total blockade failed. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, well, when I was growing up, I kind of probably like you and probably like most of us, I had faith in the system. I had faith in the establishment, because I thought, well, governments, they're doing their best and they're trying to help us and blah, 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 blah. It's only as I've got older and wiser and looked at the world and realized that really the whole system is a conspiracy against the individual, against personal freedom. So many people now are cozying up to the systems of government in order to make their money. For example, Britain is the percentage of the economy now owned by the British government is 57%. Well, in the Victorian era, at the peak of Britain's economic power, government had about 10% of the economy. Can you see what it can do to a nation when the public sector, the state, owns 57% of the economy? Even in the Soviet bloc, at the height of the Cold War, the communist governments in countries like Romania and Hungary had about 70% of the economy. So Britain is only 13% away of being a communist state.
Well, it certainly is, and we see powerful robber barons funding the mega state, because that knocks out all their competition. Yeah. And I found that if you explain that to a grassroots liberal, they stop the bedwetting and figure it out. They really think government loves them and is going to give them a free lollipop. All government is going to do is basically cut their legs off to make them dependent, and then allow only the biggest pigs to get at the trough and feed. And we're the little piglets, the runts. We're going to be pushed to the sides, and we're going to starve to death.
Yeah, well, I think one of the great the evil lies told by the left is that that capitalism is the same as corporatism. Capitalism, I believe in capitalism. I believe in free markets. I believe that people should be allowed to make money and spend that money as they see fit.
That's freedom. Stay there. Tell us the difference on the other side. James Dillingpole, I'm Alex Jones. PrisonPlanet.tv, Infowars.com. His site is JamesDillingpole.com. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Hi, this is Alex Jones. Did you know that the global elite are now storing non-hybrid seeds in secret storage vaults near the Arctic Circle? Did you know that in a real meltdown, non-hybrid seeds can become more valuable than silver or gold? It's true, seeds have outperformed even gold and silver before in this country, and it's possible that could even happen again. So our friends at Solutions from Science have put together the perfect mix of non-hybrid seeds. They call it a survival seed bank, and it can produce an endless supply of nutrient-dense food for you and your family. And here's the best part. These seeds have not been genetically modified in any way, and you actually get enough seeds to plant a full-acre crisis garden. So visit them today at survivalseedbank.com. That's survivalseedbank.com, or give them a call at 877-327-0365. That's 877-327-0365. Remember, in a real crisis, non-hybrid seeds are the ultimate barter item. This is Alex Jones for survivalseedbank.com.
Do you want to get away from additives and preservatives in your food? Need alternatives to conventional food preparation? Do you want to save the fruits of your gardening labor? And are you looking for an excellent gift idea? Then check out the Excalibur Dehydrator. Dehydration is one of the healthiest, most cost-effective, and fun ways to feed yourself and your family. Make healthy snacks like fruit roll-ups and beef jerky. Store healthy food in case of an emergency with no added salts, fats, or preservatives. And save hundreds of dollars by drying it yourself with the Excalibur Dehydrator. The Excalibur Dehydrator comes with an industry-leading exclusive 10-year warranty. And when you order, you'll receive a free book filled with amazing easy recipes, a $25 value free for a limited time. Just mention coupon code GCN. Learn more and order your Excalibur Dehydrator today at drying123.com. That's DRYING123.com. Drying123.com. Or call 1-800-875-4254. That's 1-800-875-4254. Season's greetings and health and wellness from Excalibur Dehydrator.
Fight back this cold and flu season with the world's best garlic extract, Ali C. Why Ali C? Because it helps your body fight viruses, bacteria, and fungi. Ali C has been scientifically proven in double-blind studies using low doses to greatly reduce the number, severity, and duration of common colds. Ali C contains 300 milligrams of stabilized allicin, the active ingredient in crushed garlic. Studies show Ali C is effective against MRSA, bacterial, fungal, and viral infections. One tablet of Ali C has the equivalent of 40 cloves of garlic. Ali C supports your body's resistance to all types of conditions and can help lower high blood pressure and high cholesterol. So boost your body's resistance to infection with nature's best garlic extract, Ali C. For more information and to order Ali C, call 877-888-7126 or go to garlichealthproducts.com. That's 1-877-888-7126 or go to garlichealthproducts.com for your Ali C today.
James Dillingpole, Telegraph writer from England, got cut off with his point about the difference between corporatism that Mussolini talked about being fascism that he loved versus real free market. I call it crony capitalism or insider capitalism. And then notice that all these big, quote, insider capitalist TV stations like MSNBC, they've blamed the derivative scandal on the free market. But it's government backing that fraud that allowed it to happen. And it's government regulators that allowed it to happen, who engineered the fraud with people like Bernie Madoff. Going back to your point, James Dillingpole.
Yes, well, exactly. I mean, one of the worst things that could happen after this current financial crisis that we're experiencing, the worst thing that could possibly happen is that people buy the lie that this is what happens when free market capitalism goes wrong. This is not what happens when free market capitalism goes wrong. This is what happens when government regulation distorts the markets and skews the system so that free market capitalism cannot self-regulate as it does if left to its own devices. That's how it works, supply and demand. It's very simple. It's a beautiful system. But when
and if a company engages in fraud, they get in trouble from the state level, and people learn that that company's a fraud and don't invest with them. Just like a restaurant that gives people food poisoning, they're going to get shut down because people aren't going to visit them.
You're absolutely right. I think one of the terrible assumptions of big government is that people are stupid and that therefore they need to be treated like cattle and herded around by the enlightened few.
And we know that since government took over education in Europe and the U.S. has gone from number 1 to number 26 or 25, way behind even third world countries, because they've been treating us like cattle. Some people are becoming cattle.
Hey, we've had exactly the same experience in England, and it has been a disaster. We're plummeting in the international league tables. You know, we can't read and write anymore. It's extraordinary. But to go back to the original point, I'm sure you've had our old friend Michael Moore on your show an awful lot. You must be a big fan, I imagine. Michael Moore made that terrible movie in which about capitalism, in which he tried to blame capitalism for the world's ills. Look, nobody likes big businesses, big business. Nobody likes Shell, BP, all these corporate multinational giants, which are they're in bed with big government. government.
They're governments. I mean, they've got their own spies, their own systems. They attach themselves to government contracts, so government welfare. I mean, they basically are governments.
Exactly, and the reason, and these big companies, they love regulation. They want more regulation because they know it imposes costs which they can afford, but the little guy trying to run his company cannot afford. You know, they can't afford. Little guys can't afford all the regulation to do with you know, employing a certain number of minorities and women and allowing them time off and stuff. They can't afford the regulation. BP, Shell, they can wear it. It's not Exxon, they can wear it. It's not a problem for them. So they love regulation.
Well, it's like this Food Safety Act. It's admitted that was written by big agribusiness to shut down small farms and ranches.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Of course it was. Yeah. You only have to look at the example of what happened in Nazi Germany. Nazi Germany, all the big companies got in bed with the government, you know, you scratch our backs, we'll scratch yours, and we'll get on with the system. But private property, you know, forget about that. Forget about free markets. Forget about freedom.
James, I want you to do 5 more minutes with us, 1 minute break. I want to come back and get briefly into some more of what you see happening going on down in southern Mexico at Cancun, and when we're going to learn if these scallywags are successful. That's pretty frightening that you're saying they may be. They're playing possum right now. And we'll also talk about Ted Turner, the hypocrite, eugenicist. We're back in 60 seconds, and I'm going to news blitz after that.
This is GCN, the Genesis Communications Radio Network.
Hi, folks. This is Alex Jones asking you for a minute of your time to tell you about soap. Not detergents, but good old-fashioned pure soap made by the Cal Ben Soap Company, a family-owned and operated American company. My family, staff, friends, and radio listeners are constantly telling me how much they love these products for bath, hair, laundry, and dishes. There is no